Canada to go to the United States. Even if you're the Winnipeg Jets, you have to do this too. You go through regular commercial customs and all this stuff. So we're going through the terminal in Ottawa, and at the X-ray machine is Mike Sillinger looking in the X-ray machine of everybody's bag to see if he sees his teeth. So then we get to Long Island, and then we go to Philly. And I finally go to Sillinger. I go, did you find your teeth yet? And he goes, yeah, I did. And what happened was his wife called him in Philly. He goes, hey, how come somebody I got this box in the mail. How come somebody sent you my teeth? And that was Todd Simpson's way of getting Mike Sillinger back for this thing. So I told Andrew McCain about the story yesterday, and I think I'm getting all the facts right, but Simpson told the story. But I know Andrew had an absolute blast with those guys yesterday. I told him. So I was with Andrew. Andrew was back here very shortly, one day this weekend. So I went out to Delwood to watch him golf. We're on 9, and this guy off the tee hits it about 380. I mean, he is the best ball striker right now on the Canadian Tour. It's ridiculous. But anyway, so I just kind of told him, you're going to Kelowna. Every NHL player lives in Kelowna. You're going to, and the cool part of the PGA Tour on all these things is they get a sign-up sheet every week, every pro golfer, everybody from Tiger Woods to Spieth to Andrew McCain, and they get these things that they sign up for, whether it's clinics with people or pro-ams or whatever. So I said, I guarantee you this pro-am, you're going to be with all hockey players. I mean, that's just the way it is. And he's also playing in Halifax later in the tour, which he's going to wind up with Crosby and McKinnon and those guys, maybe Marchand and those guys. So he got Todd Simpson, Wade Redden, and Jordan Tutu, and he said he absolutely had an unbelievable time.
That's awesome. Boston and St. Louis are about to play Game 7. I'm interested in your opinion on this. I'm torn because I'm kind of sick of Boston winning everything all the time.
Yeah.
But then there's St. Louis, and I lived in St. Louis for 3 years. I'm not the biggest fan of the city or the arena, but then again, I feel like they got to win it sometime. This is their chance.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm pulling for St. Louis, but it feels really weird to be pulling for St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And the other thing here is, and again, we'll know the outcome here in a couple hours and by the podcast release tomorrow, but it's like the common thing, a home Game 7, you just expect the Bruins to win. But St. Louis has been a great road team, and Boston has been kind of a up and down home team. And every time we've doubted St. Louis this entire postseason, and frankly this season, they've absolutely made us look like idiots. So it wouldn't shock me if St. Louis wins this. I would still take the Bruins right now. But I've been wrong on every game in this series. It's unbelievable. Every single game. I was convinced Game 6 that St. Louis was going to close it out the other day. Didn't happen. It's maddening how I just can't peg the series.
What has this playoff run done for Charlie Coyle's career?
Well, I mean, it's huge. He looks like the player the Wild always thought he was going to be. He's settled into a great role with that team. He's in front of his friends and family. I saw a tweet today from one of the reporters in Boston of every single human being in his life being at this game tonight. I can only imagine what it cost to get into this game. Dawn Mitchell went to Game 1 of this series. I helped her get tickets. And what she paid there would just cost without any fees and all that stuff is insane. So I can only imagine what a Game 7 right now costs all these people or Coyle. I just can't believe Dawn paid it, frankly. And so I can only imagine what this costs right now, either secondary markets or just even if you get them through the team. And the problem is that it's not easy to get tickets even through the team. Nashville, especially who has a small arena, when they were in the finals a couple of years ago, players could not get family members into the building. My best friend was their vice president of tickets. And if I called him up and I said, "Hey, can I get tickets to game?" He couldn't get me, no matter what I wanted to pay to those games. It's nuts. And even in an arena this big, I think it'd be very hard. It's in a lot of ways, family members are on their own.
So time for live questions. We'll also take some Twitter questions later. You know the deal. The microphone is up by Brandon. Brandon is our longtime producer, Brandon Morton. He has a microphone there for you. Don't be shy. Come up and ask questions. While we're waiting for Vicky to come up and ask Philip Kallenberg's 18 questions, we will thank John Hedges and Fixology Repair. John is here tonight with his lovely bride. Fixologyrepair.com, locations in downtown Minneapolis in the Skyway. You've probably been by there if you're ever down there. Mall of America, third floor by Nordstrom's. Right? That's the one I usually go to now. And a new location in St. Paul. John, if you want to come up and talk about the new location, feel free. Nope. No, he started. John usually considers coming up and talking, and then he has a beer, and he's like, nah, forget it. So check out all 3 locations, Fixology Repair. Go to fixologyrepair.com. We use it all the time.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at fixologymn on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
Is Coyle scored
Why
yet?
so shy, Vicky? Okay, yeah. I mean, you have a list. You might as well come up and start reading off the list.
Be positive.
Not towards you.
Yeah. It's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Do you feel older or wiser?
Neither. Well, no, definitely older.
There you go. Okay, this is just a comment from Philip.
Uh-huh.
Would you consider trading in your Breitling watch for an Apple Watch for trade season? Last year, you spent your birthday riding in a coffee shop with your battery-depleted phone out of reach, constantly alerting you with non-wild news. A smartwatch would allow you to more easily check and dismiss your text messages.
Last year at the trade deadline, I was in a... Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
I can't even remember that. But no, I bought an Apple Watch like 2 years ago. Spent $650 on it. A month and a half later, maybe I sold it for $250 to a college kid that I know. Yeah. So that wasn't a very bright move.
Yeah.
I am looking, like, I love this Breitling watch, but I am looking at maybe, like, changing up. Maybe getting a different type of watch.
Really?
Like wood?
Yeah. No. I was thinking. I don't know. I've been like on those like Bob's watches lately.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
And like JB Hudson and places like that. Looking at like I was going to get a Rolex, but I was honestly about to pull the trigger on a Rolex, and I said that to John Hedges. He's like, "No, don't do it."
Thank you, John.
So.
Why would you buy a Rolex?
I don't know. Apparently,
why not?
Apparently, they're good. They appreciate too.
They tell time better than your Breitling?
Yeah. No, this Breitling is awesome.
Okay, then. Last off season,
you
said that the needed improvements were better up the middle, stronger on the back end, get some scoring. Has anything changed?
No, it's definitely not. It's worse. So they will have to do some major work this offseason. We'll see. We'll see. I was just talking to an agent for the last hour, honestly, about some of the things that he's hearing and all that stuff, and it continues to be Zucker. The one thing I'll tell you is like, I still think the shoe could drop this summer. I'm just not convinced if they don't make significant moves here in the next couple of weeks that Spurgeon's just going to sign on the dotted line. I didn't talk to him today. I texted with Spurgeon a bit today just because, I don't know if you guys saw, but there was a baby born yesterday here in the Twin Cities named Spurgeon. I just thought that was cool, so I was texting him about that, and he was really humbled by it. I sent him a picture of the baby and everything. But I didn't talk to him about that. But I'm telling you, I'm talking to more and more people that says he is, I'm just shocked that Paul hasn't opened the door. They've talked a little bit, but they haven't opened the door to any sort of negotiation. And I just think that this is something that should have happened 3 weeks ago, because I just think that if all of a sudden Spurgeon in a week and a half is saying, you know what, I'm not signing right now all of a sudden you could be crap out of luck here to maybe move him, because this is the next weekend is the weekend that you can make a big deal like that. So I'm just surprised they haven't had that type of they haven't had any negotiation yet. So I just think that as a GM you'd want to know whether or not he signed. Or he's going to sign. So,
how many athletic writers did you say were going to the draft?
Well, between people from headquarters, editors, and writers, 65
Why?
people. Well, we're having a huge meeting on Thursday. That's a big part of it. It's a chance for our headquarters to talk to us. But yeah, we got 40 beat writers probably, the national guys, the analytical people, the prospect people, and the editors, and it's a lot of people.
Speaking of analytics people, the two guys, the woman and the guy that left, weren't they the ones that ran that top website?
Warren Ice. Yep.
Bad move. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I was going to say, oops.
Yeah, they definitely have to replace him. I mean, they definitely have to replace him. I mean, Andrew's gone, and Alex is basically gone. I don't even know if she's going to Vancouver anymore. So she's, I'm pretty sure that she's got her next job, which is going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a shame when we had the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I do want to point out one more thing. To commemorate your birthday, Whitecap season ticket holder, Luke Cahill.
Luke, good to see you, Luke. Thanks for coming out.
I see you again.
Yay. All right, that's all.
Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate it. And thank you, Philip, for sending your questions in. So how was your conversation with Fenton?
It was good. It was we talked for 2 hours in his office. It's always interesting going into that office because I've been in there with Risebrough, I've been in there with Chuck, and I've been in there with Fenton now, and just kind of the way they all redecorate it, but yet it's always still the same. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting.
What was interesting about it this time?
I'll tell you what was interesting about it on Risebrough. I'll give you a little secret. So I'm sitting there in the middle of July one year, and I'm meeting with Reiser, and I'm looking at the depth chart against the wall, and I'm like, Mark Parrish's name isn't on that depth chart. So then I leave his office. I felt like, have you ever seen the movie The Paper, where Michael Keaton steals the thing off the New York Times' desk or whatever it was? That's what I felt like. I'm like, I could not wait to get out of there. I made 2 phone calls, and I found out that Parrish was bought out, and we broke it at the Strib. And it was all because I essentially swiped it from the GM's office. But no depth chart hanging in Paul Fenton's office, or maybe he took it down before I showed up. So that was the one thing I was looking forward to. He probably cleansed that office before I got in, took everything off his desk and everything. But it was a good conversation. It was healthy for both of us to sit there for a couple hours. About 100 minutes of the 120 was a tape recorder in the pocket and us just talking about stuff. And then the last 20 minutes, I interviewed him for the story today, and so that was good. And just talking frankly about the team, about an important off season ahead.
Okie dokie. Mm-hmm. Fire away. Please.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Thank you. You Matt Calvert's dad or no?
No.
Okay.
Dad?
Yeah, Matt Calvert. Yeah, exactly.
Younger brother.
Actually, more so than being worried about Coyle up here, it's Corelli. I guess we didn't need him, huh?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was reading on the internet somewhere recently that the Wild are blaming you for their lack of season ticket sales. Is that true?
Is that really what people are saying, or no? Yeah,
I'm saying that.
There is some truth to that, though. I think that they're dealing with a lot of stuff in there. I actually feel bad. I mean, the owner, the president of this team, all the people in tickets, I mean, they pour their heart and soul into building this brand and working their butt off to get people in the building, and they've worked for 20 years to make this thing, a reputable organization. And right now, just through a lot of different reasons, I mean, they're at a crossroads. They're at the most stressful time in a long time, and I think they're feeling it right now. 85% renewals is not at all like tragic. The one thing I will say, and they're not, a lot of these things, I mean, you saw I kind of had to do some math, but a lot of things is I am interested, and Matt obviously was going to divulge this, is what's the 85% breakdown? What is the revenue breakdown? Because if a lot of those 85% are the 11-pack people and the 22-pack people, and where they've lost their 7 or 8% are on full season tickets. That's a huge loss in revenue for a cap team, and so they are at a crossroads right now. I mean, you hate to say it, but they almost need to make a splash this summer to get fans back on board here. But I do think it goes beyond just the team. I mean, just reading I got emails about my story and reading the comments in the section. I do think that the team also has to work. This is beyond just the stuff that Paul Fenton has done with acquisitions and transactions and things like that. I mean, they've got to bring up the value of being a season ticket holder again. The game ops, I think, is a huge thing. It's become a sterile environment. We've talked about this. That's one thing. They've almost got to overhaul a lot of things. and just the way that people also take in sports now.